Hello everybody, it's Justin. And you see the data over there is Final Fantasy IX, game being played, the track is called Tough Times. And I made that actually last night. And that's what I was feeling in my spirit. So, nothing is bad's going on, but I've heard this recently that a lot of things are 98% attitude and 2% skill. And I'm almost finding that life is a lot like that. Like, you know, you go to school or you go to training or whatever it is, and in contrast to the entirety of your life is a very, very small portion of it. Especially when it comes to training in new jobs, good grief. But anyway, I digress. So what the Lord was saying today was, not yet. He's still saying not yet. Not yet. So, and that's what he's been saying for the past, three episodes now. Not yet. And we're at episode 100. And we celebrate with no word from the Lord. No, I think it's awesome because at least there is a consciousness to this whole thing. It's like at least that we know that God's just not going to just, you know, it's not a beck and call or anything like that, you know. He's this conscious entity that's kind of like, I got nothing to say or review right now, or I got something to say right now. There's been a few episodes that have been like that where he just had nothing to say. He just wanted me to share or whatever it is, you know, for whatever reason. So I'm not God. I don't know the reason why. So, but we do know that there are times where he does not want to reveal something. We see that in Revelation. It's like, write this down, write this down, write this down. Don't write this down. Don't even mention this right here, you know. So, but all that aside, I have been dealing with some issues with procrastination, and it's not like a thing of being too lazy or whatever it is. I think it's easier to say that you're lazy rather than to get to the reason why you're actually being lazy, why you're avoiding it, because all laziness is avoidance. You know, the problem's still there, the issue's still there, yada yada yada, so why aren't you doing anything about it? And there's this part of me that really fears rejection. It makes me drag my heels in a lot of ways, like towards completing an actual project, because as soon as I think about completing it, I don't want to release it because of what people might say about it. And it drags out the process a lot longer than it needs to, and it just becomes a mess. And I have to confront myself with that, you know. I don't even have a real answer for you guys right now. I just am struggling with that, so I just ask you guys to pray for me, you know, and maybe we can kind of wrestle this thing out right now live. But rejection is this thing where, like, you want to say that as long as God is accepting me, then I don't need to worry about rejection. I want to say that, and in a lot of ways that's true. Well, not a lot of ways, it is true. But at the same time, too, it's not good for man to be alone, so therefore the interaction with people is a necessary component of our lives. So therefore, how does one actually deal with that? You know? And I think that it's and I talked it over with one of my friends and just now, and there's an issue of value, you know. There's an issue of value that what you have to share is also valuable, and there are things you can be excited, like, you know, you're excited about restaurants, you're excited about all these type of things, you know, you don't mind bugging your friends about that, but when it's something that you personally, you know, want to mention to one of your friends, you know, about maybe a party or maybe an adventure you're going into, or maybe some kind of business that you get into, then after that you don't value that anymore because it's coming from you. And I think that's a sad thing, you know. Yesterday, the Lord, I was really struggling with going to a little church service that I go to on Wednesdays, just for fun, just to worship for fun. And it's not my home church. I like to go there for just because they're open on Wednesdays and I'm available then on after 7. And I was really struggling with going because I was like, man, I don't know, I'm tired, blah 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 blah, that typical stuff. And it just kind of began to dawn on me that maybe somebody just wants to see me. Maybe someone just wants to see me. You know, is that possible? And so I went ahead and got ready, went to church and everything, and sure enough, there's this little old lady that I met in the parking lot for maybe like a couple of minutes, when her and her daughter were trying to find a new church home, and I just greeted them and just, gave them a word from the Lord and things like that, and just loved on them and everything. And she remembers that. She remembers that so well that I don't remember her a whole lot, but she remembers me like a bunch. She remembers me, and she loves on me and hugs me and gives me all this love and everything. Is genuinely excited to see me, She's genuinely excited to see me, and like I was seeing what the Lord was doing in that situation. He was just showing me that, like, people are happy to see you. People do want to support you. People do, just want you to be around sometimes. And that's a hard thing for me to digest, because I can be very, very hard on myself. Too hard. And which is also not good. It's a stupid thing to be doing that. You don't want to do that. And so I think in the same way that the fear of rejection is maybe a better way to think about it is not the fear of rejection, but the fear of what happens if I don't share this. Like, I like to share the good things, Like, I've questioned whether or not I should be doing this anymore many times because of the low view count. And I'm just kind of like, man, nobody's watching. But no, not nobody's watching. There are 2 or 3 people that are watching this. And it's important to them, And so, am I going to hold the show off because I'm feeling bad or my attitude's not right about it? Should I really do that? I don't think I should do that. Because this is important stuff, It's not even, a me thing. It's a God thing. So I think that within that example lies the answer to it. Is the whole rejection thing is, yes, the value of Christ puts on you is far above, like, planet Earth. Because, if you gain the whole world and lose your soul, what gain is it to you? So that's how valuable you are to God. And I think that to other people in our relationship where, we're all of that kind of value to Him, it's like, where do I find my place with my peers? And I think it is that some people just genuinely, they don't want you to necessarily want you to do anything. They just want to see that you're around, And yes, there may be a bunch of people that, for example, when I'm making Black Simulator, that may completely and totally reject that and say awful things about me and about it and everything else, But the people that love me and care about me, I think they need to see me actually release that thing to inspire them. And maybe I'm just doing it for the wrong people. Maybe I'm doing it for all these nameless people that I'm thinking are going to reject me. But what if I don't do it? What if that game actually does something and speaks to someone's life in a real way? What if I don't release it? What about that? What if I don't do what God's asked me to do? What happens to someone's life when that happens? I think looking at it now as I'm wrestling with this live with you guys, I'm beginning to realize that it's a selfish thing to fear rejection because of the possibility of negotiating with yourself that, hey, there may be a ton of people that reject it and reject you for whatever reason, but there is somebody that's close to you that needs to see you do this thing or to say this thing or whatever it may be that's going to help them, that may save their life, that might profit their soul. And it could be somebody that I don't know if I don't do this or I don't say that, same thing. I could be losing friends right now. I could be losing relationships right now. And I might even lose a relationship for a time, but doesn't mean that person is going to be gone forever. I might say something that might hurt someone's feelings, but I don't mean to be mean. I'm presenting myself as being disagreeable with you because I do love you. Who needs a yes man? People die over yes men. People die because of yes men. Ask a rapper. Ask a Hollywood actor. Ask someone who's famous with a bunch of yes men around them. It literally ends up killing them. I'm not gonna be that yes man. So I should embrace the parts of rejection that are actually good. You know, the rejection that I reject the idea that I'm going to be someone's yes man, and that's a good thing. And embracing the fact that something that you do or say or whatever could be helpful to somebody, you know, it could inspire somebody, and just make it good, sure it's good, and just what God's saying is good. Okay, nobody needs your opinion. Opinions are like butt cheeks. Everyone's got a pair. But really looking at the things of God and going in that direction, and yeah, I think that's a better place to land. So I know I'm kind of rambling today. Concentrate on what God's been saying and been doing, and I think this is probably why He wants us to. He's saying not yet. He wants us to struggle and to work some things out, and to wrestle some things out. So I've given you a good example of how to do that. So hopefully you'll take that with yourselves and respond accordingly. So that's my time. You can find out links, ways to support me in the links in the description below. And God bless. And I'll be speaking at a university here. And I might be doing. I'll be posting that video up for tomorrow, and also a new video. And I'm not going to be doing a sober artist video right now. I think that that may have run its course through that series as of right now, but we'll see what happens. All right, guys, loves and hugs, and truly, I do hope this actually did help somebody out in terms of just wrestling with things and figuring that whole thing out. All right, guys, loves and hugs. Bye-bye. Thank you once again to my Patreon supporters. It means so much to me. Just look at them. Just look at these people. Just look at it.